This is a disclaimer. The following NAMM video is not standard NAMM coverage, where we point at things and say what they are. There might be incorrect information about the gear, over-exaggerated stats, and also seriously silly behavior. It has been approved by the manufacturers and the brand representatives who are in on the joke. Just to let you know, in case you're new to my channel. Enjoy.
The greatest outrage of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even have to take care of ourselves yet.
I have to hold this weird mic. Hello people, this is another thing from that I cannot remember.
It's the Endorse
Expo.
Yes.
It's an EE, technically should be easy, but I cannot remember that. I ran into a colleague, Mr. Shnobel.
Yes, I'm Roman, and Shnobel Tone is my YouTube channel.
Of course you know that. He's Mr. I compare pedals like crazy.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't do that, because someone's already doing that really well.
Oh, right. I took your job. Well,
no. If I compared, the clones or whatever, then what's the point? You already did that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Kiana did that in the video. We did a clone comparison, and I didn't do it. She did it with another student of mine, because both of them had absolutely no idea and no preconceptions about it. So that was a really cool way to actually have them pick which one they liked, and of course they all sounded exactly the same.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. No need to spend $3,000 on eBay, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I think about it. I'm like, I have 2 clones myself because I have to. I have to do it for the channel. But I guess it's kind of an investment. It's a piece of history, I guess.
They probably won't lose their value.
One of those things, I don't know, maybe like iconic things, like a 60s Stratocaster in all original condition. All these new guitars, who knows what's going to be, down the line, these robotic guitars or whatever. But there's certain things like maybe old Vox AC30, maybe a old Plexi Marshall. Those are kind of iconic kind of staples in sort of music history, and I think Klon in some ways is one of those. If you have the original one, it's kind of like a little bit special, but sound-wise, sonically, yes. Some of these, reissues.
What is it? It's a Bad Horse from Tone City or Sweet Cream from who knows what. I mean, it's all kind in a mix. It's all kind of gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
Except for the soul food. The soul food sounds a little bit different.
Yeah. And there's always people doing little flavor and variations. But yeah, I guess it's kind of an investment, sort of. It's like, if you want the real deal, this is the real
Interestingly,
pedal.
It's not just like the old boxes, whatever, that hold their value or even increase in value. I bought more than 10 years ago a Blackheart. I had all the Blackheart amps, the really cheap, made in China, but designed from a Russian, and then he lived in Texas, whatever. And the 15 watt I spent $240 on. Now someone saw it on my channel a few years ago. The amp for a long time now was in a room in a corner, not even in my videos anymore. And he wrote me, said, "You used to have that 15 watt Blackheart. Do you still have it?" I'm like, "Yeah." He paid $440 for it. So I doubled the value of a cheap Chinese amp after 10 years because he really wanted it. Amps and guitars is where it's at. Invest in that.
Just recently, the Bondi Effects Del Mar, I don't know if you heard of it. He stopped making them, and nobody's really selling them. So the guys who have them on eBay are like charging $2,000 for them.
Are people paying them?
I don't know, but that's how these kind of things start. Is if something's pretty good, and then. But I don't know with that Del Mar if it'll go as that Klon legendary status of the pedal.
Probably not.
Yeah, but
limited editions are a good idea.
Yeah,
because you feel like you have something very special.
Yes, and hopefully that the same thing would happen like with pedal like a Klon, where it just at the right time it does the right thing for the right people, and then it becomes kind of unavailable, and then used market will pick up the price.
So you're here, you just said, with your brother's company.
Yeah, 64 Audio. t-shirt you could see. And we make custom in-ear monitors, universal and custom. So in-ear monitors are just little earphones that go right in your ear for stage and for like studio mixing, and they're really high quality in-ear monitors.
What I always don't quite understand is people say in-ear monitors, and technically they are customized headphones. Where's the difference between good headphones and in-ear monitors?
Well, making them custom, for most musicians, I would recommend custom. And that's kind of what separates. In-ear monitor is like a general term, so it's something that's maybe small that goes in your ear. The big headphones are like, over-the-ear headphones, cans.
But the earbuds, what now people call earbuds. Where's the difference between a good Bose earbud, for example, and a good in-ear monitor?
So the difference is that we actually, Bose is a big company. They're not really known for kind of accurate representation of sounds. Average person puts them on or puts them in. The little ones, they're like, oh, sounds great, has a lot of bass. Same thing with the Beats. They all tend to have like a lot of bloated bass, and a lot of people are listening to rap music or to music that has a lot of low end, and they're like, oh, I love these, and they just bob their head. But for musicians who need mid-range, who need clarity and highs, who need a balance, and so we actually stuff small little speakers, up to 18 of them, depending on which model. So we use 18 little speakers to finely tune 18.
How tiny are they?
They're very small, and this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with. It's not just one speaker and then one little dynamic little speaker in an earbud, and then you just shove it in and you go.
Because the one little speaker could easily give you frequencies that you don't want, because one thing, if you blow a lot of power into it, can distort.
Yes.
Which is, the more you have, the less loud or the less distorted it can be.
So more kind of like in a guitar amp or a bass amp, the 8x10 AMPETE. So it's 10-inch speaker. You think, how much power can it have? But when you're coupling it with 10 other speakers, you're getting, or 8 other speakers with 10 inches, you're coupling those. So in an in-ear monitor, what you're doing is each little speaker actually has an internal crossover. So the lows are not spilling into the highs, so you're actually creating a little PA system in your ear.
And that's all in your ear?
Yes.
And that's where the difference is to standard headphones. So show us.
Yes. So we have right here on display.
Because they're in a custom mold, and they have very.
So these little guys here, this is a demo version. So basically, these are universal versions of the custom monitors that you would get. So you put little foam tips on these little spouts, and then you can just listen to them in your ear, and it's a very small shell, but we can stuff a lot of drivers in there, up to 18 drivers. And we also are one of the only companies that offer this module, and it's a little module, looks like a little piston from like a engine, but this piston actually is a controlled vent, and this actually lets some of the pressure bleed out from the ear canal. As you know, like, sound produces a lot of pressure. And so when you have little speakers right so close to your eardrum, over time, in our monitors, when they're sealing up right in your ear, and you're playing shows and you're pushing that air against your eardrum, that doesn't really happen when you're kind of listening to music. The air is not trapped in your ear and it's not pushing against your eardrum. So we've developed this little pressure relief system, and it actually doubles as a ambient vent as well. We offer a few different versions, so all you can do is just pull it out, put another one in that will give you like a more ambient sound, and if you're feeling like you have too much, you can always go back. And this is also available on our customs as well. So that's kind of unique to our company, is we offer this vent, and we offer very high quality sound. That we actually developed some of these speakers are not available to other companies besides us.
Okay.
And we've patented some of the technology.
So on the non-customs, what is the price range?
So they start. We've kind of limited some of the cheaper universals. So the customs start at $400, $399. That's 2-driver version. And then as you add drivers, you're adding more sound quality, more crossover points, richer sound. So it goes from 2 drivers, $399, goes all the way up to 18 drivers, which is $3,000.
That is
So-
more of a pro application then.
Yes, like the 18 driver one, not really recommended for live, as they're very detailed. They're very analytical. So guys who are studio engineers, who are reference mixing and even checking some mastering on them.
With in-ears?
Yes, because you eliminate the room with the in-ears. When you're listening through speakers, you feel the room, and then there's certain effects and certain things that you want to hear that engineers are now using these to check reverbs, to
Really?
check
Because
certain
the
aspects
one
of
thing
a
that people
mix.
always say, don't mix with headphones.
Yeah, don't only mix with headphones, but if you want to eliminate the room and kind of hear exactly what's going on with certain tones, you would use these, and these are really great.
If you got, if you're an engineer and you need that, and you got $3,000 to spare.
But for live musicians, you don't need 3,000. The A3 and the A6 is one of our popular models. The 3 has 1 driver per each band, low, mid, high. 6 would go double, would go 2 low, 2 mid, 2 high, and it gives you a nice balanced spectrum. And like for guitar myself, like I record my YouTube videos, I rely on my in-ears to kind of dial the tone.
That is
of,
true.
of
You
my
have
reference.
shit in your ear all the time. That is true.
So, yeah, and then there's a lot of applications, not just studio. A lot of people think, oh, I don't perform, I don't need these. You travel, and the custom ones, they're naturally isolating. So you put them in, and they're like custom earplugs. If you don't play any music, you're already eliminating noise. And your volumes are a lot quieter because they seal out, and you want to listen to music, bump it up a couple notches, and you're enjoying music and with naturally isolating. When you're recording and where you're tracking, when you don't have studio monitors, this is a good reference. And we tune them to have a reference. There's nothing really bloated about, overdone
It's
on
like
the high.
it's a monitor, not a headphone. It's like a studio monitor and a speaker. There are differences. It's linear.
Yeah, so we call them in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And obviously you have color options. You can get them in pink and whatever else you want.
We have like custom options as well, like some woods if you're really fancy, and then some gold and some glitter options. We have kind of more standard colors up here, and then we offer even glow in the dark. So if you put some light on it, you come out on stage and you have shiny ears. Yeah.
Of course, that is fancy. Get black because black's, metal and stuff. Come on. So we get out of here. Thank you. Come here.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Watch this guy's videos. You're already doing it anyway because he always gets mentioned as one of the really cool guys, which he is. Especially if you want to see stuff compared. I'm not gonna do that because he's doing it, much more welly than I do. Is that how you say that, Kiana? Much more welly. Weller. He does it weller than I do. We don't know. What do we know about English? So no, I really like that. We all have our little things that we do. So if I know you do these comparisons, then I'm not gonna bother with it because you do it well, and I do other things like penis jokes. So that's
I
what
watch
I do.
your channel sometimes for some good insight and just I think it's great to have a lot of choices, and there's a lot of great guys doing demos.
Sometimes we watch each other's channel because I might be doing a pedal and I have it on the table. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do what other people have done, and I also don't want to say something wrong. So I watch Pete Thorne's video, and then okay, he got that sound, that's cool. So I'm like stealing a little bit from him, but I'm also trying to go in a different direction because Pete's already covered it in the way that only Pete can.
I'll reference to like Pro Guitar Shop for I'm like, how did Andy approach this pedal and kind of like
I've really rarely seen Pro Guitar Shop videos, and I think that has something to do with Andy playing with the fingers, because it makes me antsy. I don't know why, because I don't understand it. It's foreign to me, and I have a hard time watching him because of that. And he plays beautifully, but when I see this in my
invisible pick.
yeah, but it hurts me somehow. I'm like, how is he doing this? Is he actually doing this? You know, it gives me goosebumps. It has nothing to do. I mean, he does great videos, but it's hard for me to watch because he plays with his fingers. Now I'm gonna get a lot of shit. Oh my god.
I actually did a little interview.
Henning, can you cut that out? Can you please cut out what you just said? Thank you. Not you guys.
Yeah, he lives in not too far away from my area in Portland, Oregon, and I did a little sit-down interview with Andy like before they folded up Pro Guitar Show. And he's a really awesome guy. Yeah, you know, again, everybody has a certain style, and it's really nice to see, you know, like all these different kind of sides to like.
Yeah, it's not really competition. I mean, GitCon showed that there is no competition. I wouldn't have invited all these guys. I invited him too, but he had to conjugate verbs or something. You'd had something.
Yeah, I had a very busy schedule, and it didn't work out. But there's another get-together at NAMM.
Yeah.
And I'll try to make it. I have commitments at 64. I'm not a free agent, but...
Yes, commitments. Apparently we're not important enough to break those commitments. I understand. No, that's fine. You got to sell shit, obviously.
Yeah.
So see if you can stop by, and we'll hang out. We'll definitely run into each other again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And now we're gonna release Kiana from the very, very heavy thing that's killing her back right now.
She's doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you, Kiana. We love you. And animals at the end. Bye bye.